I guess at this point you didn't know you were going to start the first game, but just being the new guy in the program, you hadn't been going through spring ball. I mean, uncomfortable as well.
It's I would say uncomfortable is not the word, but you feel like you're preparing the best that you can, but there's really only so much you can do. Having time with people like this past off season, the winter, the spring, all of the extra 7-on-7 we've been doing this summer has allowed me to go into the season knowing who I'm throwing the ball to and knowing what they're good at, what their strengths are. Because I didn't even know some of the guys' names until week 3 or 4, especially some of the first years.
Last year.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how it is. I was getting into grad school, a lot of work there, brand new season, brand new place. There's a lot of change, and I think just being in the program a year has really helped me kind of figure out who's who and where our strengths lie on our team.
Kurt, how has your chemistry with the tight ends evolved?
Great.
How has it changed from last year?
Last year I was definitely hesitant to throw if it was even a little bit of coverage to the tight ends, and now if they can have someone draped in their back, and it doesn't really matter because I trust them to box out, put the ball in a good spot, and they'll still be able to catch it. So just chemistry across the board we look like a different team. We do.
You had a chance to talk to Wendell at
Yeah,
all?
a lot.
Because the way this is set up now is that, next year when you're not here, he could be thrown to that fire pretty well. This might be a big step, learning curve here for him as well. What have been your impressions of him at this point?
He's a sponge. He's an accurate passer. He's got pretty good footwork, and he's confident for how young he is. It's a good thing. And he's just been around, just following me around, listening, learning. And it took me like 1 or 2 days of 7-on-7 kind of helping him through it to kind of get his reads down. And now I just kind of stay on the sideline and let him do his thing. So he's self-motivated, kind of some good autonomy about himself.
You mentioned the other day that I'm sorry to dominate this thing, but you mentioned the other day, yesterday that your body fat was way down.
Yes.
What are those numbers again that you were?
Around last season, I was playing at like 228. I started the season like 235, but I was playing at 228 with 10.5 body fat, and now I'm at like 215 to 218 and 7.5, a little under 7.5.
And where do you feel that making a difference?
That extra part of it is being a little slimmer, being able to have that extra step, but it's helped me really get my knee back to where it was before I had surgery. Because last year I'd open up and try to run away from people. I wasn't running away from anybody. And now I'm slowly getting back to where I was. And I feel really confident about being able to bring the ball now.
Would you have liked an opportunity, for Wendell, the chance that, as a true freshman, were you like a number 2 quarterback? Where were you as a true freshman?
So I was the number 2, but I also redshirted. So I got really lucky.
Now, you probably had a chance to see red shirts this year with everything that could happen.
I hope for his sake that he can, but I mean, experience is experience. So he's gonna have to have his first game eventually. He's gonna have to have his first. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen eventually. Redshirting, in my opinion, is the best thing you can do as a quarterback. But if you're ready to play, you're ready to play. And if the team needs you, then that's more important than yourself. So.
Are you and Quinn missing the workout today?
Yes.
Did Coach Winter give you any homework to do?
We have these things called jump runs on Fridays, and they're the most difficult day of the week, so we're missing that, but they made up for it by having part of that on Tuesday. So
for you guys.
Just for you two?
No, everyone got a part of it. So
what is a jump run?
A jump run is 15 seconds of a dynamic exercise, whether it's like, there's a lot of different things. So you can jump in like split squat, and it's for 15 seconds, and you get 45 off. Then you have 6 straight other exercises where you're either bounding or whatever for a full 15 off, and then you do that for 6 times. So it's 1, and then 45, then 6 with 15 off, and then you run a 300. And the 300 isn't really a 300, it's as far as you can get in 60 seconds. So it's like a 350, 340, and then we do that 6 times, and then go lift. So it's difficult.
Were you caught off guard, surprised by Marvin not coming? I mean, the plan was to have this backup and this ascension plan. Did that surprise you?
I was shocked, but I didn't really know enough about the situation I didn't really know what was going on, and I didn't really know the whole situation coming in, so I don't really have anything to say.
Had you met him, talked to him at all?
I haven't
Not at all,
met
okay.
him. Yeah.
So you met the lineman, right?
Yeah.
From them?
Yes. Wait, which one?
I know there's 3 coming, and now there's 2, and you met.
I ran into them at after a spring game or spring practice, but I never met Marvin. So.
How would you evaluate the depth at your offensive line in front of you, and is it a concern that you don't have the bodies that obviously Coach would like?
I think we are low in depth that Coach Mendenhall would like to have, but I've seen a lot of improvements across the board from Coach Wintrick and his staff working with them. And they're a lot heavier all the way across the board, at least 20 pounds heavier per guy. And they look stronger, they look confident. Coach Wintrick's really made it his off-season mission to get those guys as big and as ready as possible. And he's in my opinion, the best in the business. So.
A year ago, Coach Mendenhall and Coach and I almost changed offensive philosophies a few weeks in.
Yeah.
Had a better gauge on what you could do, what the other players could do. This time around, do you feel like they start from a better knowledge point of what you can do?
Absolutely. This spring was a lot on building on my strengths and really focusing the offense around my strengths and then the guys around me their strengths. So we're not going to just throw people out there and run this play if they don't run it well. So we're going to have the right guy doing the right thing at the right time, and that's our kind of philosophy. And just our offense looks a lot different now than it did last year, and it looks a lot different now than it did really at the beginning of spring. It's an evolving offense, and we're getting a lot of guys involved that have stepped up. Without
giving anything away, what are some of the trademarks of, what would you say, okay, they realize this and we're good at this, we do more of this?
Quick game, I would say, is a big one. I have a good arm to be able to get the ball out quick, get it out accurately, so we do a lot of quick game, a little more screens here and there. We didn't really run a lot of screens at all last year, so we're trying to dabble in that a little bit like the other teams that we play against do. And just a lot more under center, so being able to run the ball really straight at the line of scrimmage.